Councilwoman Hayner. Councilman Kitchen is excused. Councilman Secreto. Councilman Van Cleek. Supervisor Quigley.
Here. Thank you very much and welcome to the Town of Ulster Town Board meeting for Thursday, August 17th, 2023. Please note the exits to the back and to the right and left. If there is a necessity to evacuate, please do so in an orderly fashion. Are there any additions or changes to the agenda?
None from me.
No, none from the board. Are there any members of public here tonight who wish to discuss items that are on the agenda? We will be having a general comment section at the end of the meeting for anything that anyone may want to discuss or present to the board. No comments on the agenda? Thank you. In our package are the minutes for the town board meeting held July 20th and the special town board meeting held July 31st. May I have a motion to accept the minutes as presented?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Minutes are adopted. Communications, please.
Yes, I have two communications tonight. The first one is an email received Friday, August 11th to the attention of Frank Petromall. Good morning, Frank. I just wanted to drop a line to say how professional and productive your crew has been with this work, referring to the sewer project on Locust Avenue. I live directly along the route where they are working, and I have to say that there have not been any disruptions, delays, or issues whatsoever. I'm sure you are proud of them. I think I speak for all in my neighborhood. Please pass along our thanks from me and my neighbors for being professional and courteous. From Vince Morano. Second communication is a series of two emails from David Corrigan of New York State Department of Transportation in reference to the Washington Avenue Railroad Crossing project. NYSDOT advised the town of Ulster that an improvement project will be commencing shortly on the Washington Avenue Railroad crossing just inside the city of Kingston that will adversely impact the traffic patterns in the town of Ulster on Washington Avenue. Traffic will be reduced from 2 lanes in each direction to 1 lane in each direction for a period of 10 days or so while the work is completed. Monday night, August 21st, Washington Avenue will be closed at the crossing for 2 to 3 hours to facilitate the rail being installed through the crossing. The work will not begin before 10 p.m. Wednesday, August 23rd, the crossing is scheduled to be paved during the daytime, and the road should be opened completely by the end of the day. And NYSDOT will follow up once there is a definitive time frame and more information.
Thank you very much. Mr. Van Cleek, the abstract of claims.
The abstract of claims was reviewed and taken care of by our comptroller. As presented to the board, we have prepaid bills of $518,747.73. We have the abstract bills of $446,884.09. We have other bills presented for $4,145 and a small general fund reserve change for $120.05, making the total just under $1 million. So it's $969,896.87.
I'll make a motion.
Any discussion on the abstract?
No discussion.
All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Unlike Woodstock, we pay our bills.
The next thing to deal with would be the budget modifications and transfers. As you will notice in the paperwork, we have some significant modifications. Two that are of significant noteworthy is we're moving a total of about $200,000 over because of increased spending in police overtime due to staff challenges. So far this year, we have spent in the budget, you'll notice, I think it's 3120.101, we have spent basically the year's allocation of overtime in 6 months. So as not to overspend that budget line, which we're not allowed to do, this transfer of modification in the budget will allow for that fund to be funded. There's also some other small and other transfers which are listed in that paperwork. So just need a motion to accept those, I guess.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Next item under new business is a presentation and acceptance of the town clerk's monthly report for the month of July 2023. Ms. Reevy, is there anything you wish to note in the town clerk's report before we accept it?
No, there's nothing to note.
May I have a motion to accept it as presented?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. These materials that we are working through are posted on the town's website under meetings materials for tonight's meeting. The next item is presentation and acceptance of the monthly supervisors report for April 1st, 2023 to June 30th, 2023. Mr. Van Cleek has pointed out the issues that we have in the police department. Other than that, everything seems to be in line for the year. And this is now the start of when we really get to pay attention to the budget, because we will be entering into the budget process for the preparation of the 2024 budget here shortly.
And the reason we're not printing it, it's 149 pages long, so.
And it is available on the town's website starting tomorrow morning, the full report, every one of those 149 pages. May I have a motion to accept it?
I'll make it.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. The next item on our agenda is a motion to authorize the deputy assessor to attend the New York State Assessors Fall Conference in Lake George. This authorization is for time away from the office and the use of the town of Ulster vehicle only. As our assessor is jointly employed between the town of Ulster and the town of Kingston, the town of Kingston is generously paying for the expenses for registration, room and board, travel other than the use of the vehicle, and all meals. I would like to acknowledge the town of Kingston for their contribution to this. May I have a motion to authorize the travel?
Second.
Discussion?
Nope.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Mr. Secreto.
We have one hire here. Comes at the request of Chief Berardi. This will be for a court officer. Employee's name is Fred H. Harris. Department would be court. It comes out of the general fund. It's a part-time position. It's non-competitive, non-union. There's no health insurance. The wage will be $23.62 an hour. The start date will be 08/18/2023. Like I said, it comes at the request of Chief Berardi, and I make a motion to hire Mr. Harris.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving down to old business. The first item under old business is a resolution granting a special use permit and conditional site plan approval for Michael Schatzel involving the construction of a 6,500 square foot warehouse and a residential unit over a business establishment located at 73 Lake Road, Lake Katrine, section lock and block number 30.16.1-1-15. May I have a motion? May I have a second? Any discussion? May I have a roll call vote, please?
Councilwoman Haynes, Councilman Kitchen excused, Councilman Secreto,
Yes.
Councilman Van Cleek,
Yes.
Supervisor Quigley.
Yes, thank you. The second item under old business is a resolution granting a special use permit and conditional site plan approval for Michael Finelli to redevelop and an existing property with building and attached garages and to maintain a residential unit over a business establishment, 1986 Ulster Avenue, Lake Katrine, section block and lot 39.16.1-1-29.
So moved.
Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Councilwoman Hayner. Councilman Kitchen excused, Councilman Secreto, Councilman Van Cleek.
Yes.
Supervisor Quigley.
Yes, thank you. The next item on our agenda is a resolution granting conditional site plan approval for Morgan Coy, also known as Monophanusis Kingston LLC at 80 Brabrant Road, Kingston, section block and lot 48.14-3-44.220 for the construction of 3 adjoining warehouses and storage buildings. May I have a motion, please?
I'll second it.
Any discussion? Roll call vote,
Councilwoman
please.
Hayner. Councilman Kitchen excused, Councilman Secreto, Councilman Van Cleek.
Yes.
Supervisor Quigley.
Yes, thank you. And the last item, under old business. The next one will be go back is, I misplaced it. It should have been new business. The next item is a resolution to schedule a public hearing on the application of BVH Sapphire Trust for site plan approval, 127 to 133 Glenary Boulevard in Saugerties, section block and lot 39.7-8-1.1 for Thursday, September 7th, 2023 at 7:10 PM in the evening. May I have a motion? I got a second?
Yes.
Any discussion?
This is for a public hearing.
Public hearing, correct.
Councilwoman Hayner. Councilman Kitchen excused, Councilman Secreto, Councilman Van Cleek.
Yes.
Supervisor Quigley.
Yes, thank you. Sir, the opportunity to comment on agenda items was at the beginning of the meeting, not during the call of the vote. Okay, you can comment when we're finished with our business in the general section of comments. Thank you. I misplaced this on the agenda. This should have been under new business. I'm going to read the resolution into the record so that it's clearly stated. It's a resolution stating that the town of Ulster will not execute an agreement with the Kingston Consolidated School District for the School Resource Officer Program for the 2023-2024 school year, dated August 17th, 2023. Whereas the town of Ulster and the Kingston School District have in the past formed a partnership to provide a school resource officer program to the M. Clifford Miller Middle School within the City of Kingston School District. Whereas the Kingston City School District has further requested the town of Ulster to provide a school resource officer for the 2023-24 school year, who, in addition to providing security, will assist its staff and students as a resource for the well-being of the students at the M. Clifford Miller Middle School. And whereas the town of Ulster and the Kingston City School District have, in the past, agreed to share in the cost of providing the school resource officer to the M. Clifford Miller Middle School. Whereas the first and highest priority of the town of Ulster Police Department is to provide security and public safety to the residents of the town of Ulster and the thousands of individuals who work or patronize businesses in the town of Ulster on a daily basis. And whereas due to the current workforce staffing shortages in the town of Ulster Police Department, the town of Ulster cannot designate one officer to serve as the school resource officer at the M. Clifford Miller Middle School for the 2023-2024 school year without putting public safety townwide at risk. Whereas the town of Ulster Town Board and the town of Ulster Police Department continue to be supportive of the School Resource Officer Program and hope to revisit this issue for the 2024-25 school year. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the board of the town of Ulster will not authorize the town supervisor to execute an agreement with the Kingston City School District for the School Resource Officer Program for the 2023-24 school year. May I have a motion to accept the resolution as read?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion, please. Ms. Hayner,
I'm going to be abstaining from this as I work for the city of Kingston School District.
any additional discussion?
It's the staff shortage is the biggest thing.
And I think it's important to recognize that we have had discussions with the police department as we've worked through this, and that we are still available to the school district. We are right next door. So this is not ideal, but it's the best we can do at this moment.
I would like to make it clear that this is one of the hardest decisions that this town board has faced in a number of years. As you heard Mr. Van Cleek talk about the additional funding that we had to take out of fund balance to fund police overtime. We are currently operating at about 70% capacity due to injuries, retirements, inability to fill open positions, and the lack of part-time employees who usually filled in for those who could not work. It is going to be a challenging budget year for next year to budget for the police department because the civil service list, which is the list that we are obligated to hire off of, as far as in-town candidates, is functionally empty. The next civil service exam will be given sometime in 2024. So we have to figure a way out to get through the next year and address the staffing shortages that we have. I believe everyone is aware through the Freeman of the issues in an adjacent town, which the supervisor has admitted to me that they are at a 50% staffing shortage. Other towns within the county have similar diminishments in their labor force. And there has been discussions amongst the town supervisors to try to avoid raiding each other's staff to fill their own needs. I just want to stress, this is a serious public safety issue. This decision to suspend participation in this program is not an easy one. But I don't want to face a constituent and look them in the eye and try to explain to them why our police officers didn't show up when called. May I have a roll call vote, please?
Councilwoman Hayner,
Abstain.
Councilman Kitchen is excused. Councilman Secreto, Councilman Van Cleek,
Yes.
Supervisor Quigley.
Yes, with regrets.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our scheduled agenda for tonight. It is my pleasure to open the floor to any individual who wishes to come to the podium and make a comment about anything that you believe the town board should be aware of. Sir, I believe you had a comment.
Regarding the public hearing for PVH Sapphire Trust, I represent the trust. I was here in January, I was here in February, I was here in July, and here again. We already had a public hearing. I'm just trying to understand what's the
The town board did not have a public hearing on this project.
the public hearing is only for the planning board, is that the idea?
The planning board public hearing, Mr. Tutt, I believe, related to the subdivision. And it was the subdivision only.
Okay,
All projects in excess of 2,500 square feet have final approval by the town board. There have been a series of outcries over the last 6 months from the residents in the area that the planning board was not listening to them. We intend on giving them an opportunity to speak their piece.
I would appreciate if the town board can forward to me the comments that have been coming in. I would be happy to work with anybody, any issues that people feel, in any way, I'd be happy to work with them. I didn't hear anything from the town.
That's because
Planning
the
board.
planning board does not have a form for public comments unless they call a public hearing. Like in this meeting, we have a form that is open to all at the end of the meeting where anybody can get up and say anything they want. It was during those periods of time that we were alerted to the citizens' concerns about the development in the neighborhood. For those in the audience tonight, if you could send me an email with your concerns, I'll get to you in a minute. I will forward them to you.
Yes, yeah, I appreciate that. I'm willing to work again.
All right.
I'm willing to work it anyway.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much.
Any additional comments? Laura? I'll get to you. there.
Good evening. I wanted to give an update 2 weeks ago, but I couldn't make the meeting. But I know Mr. Quigley and Mr. Van Cleek are aware of the grant that Town of Ulster Citizens has gotten from the county to plant trees. And the update is we're going to be getting 6 trees to plant over in the town parking lot behind Miller School. It's going to be 3 dogwood and 3 eastern red buds. And that will happen in November because Soil and Water is advising us that's a better time of year that will require less intensive maintenance if we do it then. And we also got 6 bushes that we can plant over on Buckley Street. Because they had some extra money. So I asked them if we could spend it and they said yes. So that's another gift that we're getting, which should also happen maybe around November time period. So I want to thank you, Supervisor Quigley, for your cooperation with this, and also Frank Petchemol, who was in the meeting that we had a couple of weeks ago. And we'll just keep you posted on
It's all
what's
right.
happening.
You don't have to compliment him. He's not here tonight.
You have to do it anyway.
It's in the minutes.
And just to the police shortage, I just want to go on record by saying I'll do my part to behave so that the police are not needed for me. So.
Ms. Hartman had mentioned Buckley Street. I want to make this announcement. As you all know, those of you who attended earlier in the year, Kingston Ulster Airport came to the town board seeking permission to cut trees that interfered with the flight path at the airport. I believe there was about 18 trees involved. And in the agreement, they have an obligation to replant on that site. And they were concerned about replanting trees that would end up growing back into the flight path. So we negotiated, and it's preliminary. We negotiated for them to make a contribution to a local land trust to be designated for the planting of trees within the town of Ulster. The Kingston Land Trust owns 4 parcels, I believe, down on Buckley and Orlando Street. And in conjunction with Ulster Citizens, Kingston Land Trust and Ulster Citizens will execute a program to expend $5,000 for the planting of trees in those locations. Mary Jo, you had your hand up.
Good evening and thanks for your time. I'm Mary Jo Frederich. I have 2 items that I wanted to bring to the attention. One is with reference to 127133 Glen Airy Boulevard. Back in February of 2023, we did send in a formal letter of our concerns. We sent it to the planning board and they said they never received it. We sent it to 2 different addresses. We copied the town and we emailed it. And they still said they never received it. So I did at one of the following meetings, read it to them. There were a number of requests in that, and we still have not heard anything back. So when you have the
We
public,
have a public hearing.
when you have the public hearing, we'd like a response on some of these issues. You know,
Can you leave that letter with the town clerk?
I can, but even better than that, I could probably send her an email copy,
Thank you.
which would be even
And we
easier,
will
right?
Send it to you, sir.
Okay. I also have a petition of, at this point, it's only 62 people, but I suspect more people will be signing this petition from the area. I'm part of the Glen Airy Lake Park Improvement Association. We represent over 350 homes in the area. And so there's the broader community than just the few people that you see here tonight that have concerns. So I will make sure that they know that there is going to be an opportunity for them to speak at the meeting September 7th at 7:10. Okay. The other thing is more just a follow-up, and I'm not sure how much more information you have, but you have been well aware and supportive of the 338 Glenary Boulevard junkyard. And I know there were steps being taken to see what we could do about that.
It's now in the hands of the lawyer, and we have sued Mr. Viviani. I believe that's the property.
Yeah, he's got a sign out there now that says it's for sale and it's a
Yes.
commercial property.
It's not, it's commercial to the extent that it's multifamily, but that is open to discussion. It's in a residential neighborhood. I believe it's an R30. So it has limited uses.
Okay, and so we're just kind of waiting. He doesn't need to do anything to continue to clean up and maintain the property. We're just gonna do
Well-
another, because now we're 5 years.
Well, as you understand, I explained to you last year when we voted on entering into the legal process. Now we're subject to the court,
Understood.
and that timeline can expand or contract based upon how the lawyers joust with each other. So we are in that process. I can't comment on that. But he has every right to sell his property. At some point, a prospective buyer will come to the town in their due diligence and try to discover through reviewing our records and our rules and our laws, what he can and cannot do. And that commercial use will, at that point, I believe, be out, eliminated.
Okay, thank you.
Yes,
I live next door to that property. We were looking at the rules and he keeps the front mowed, but the back is completely growing all over the place. And it's supposed to be a certain height and he doesn't take care of the back. And that's where our deck is and it's right next to our house. So, and they're supposed to fine him $250 and nothing's happening there.
that's why we're in state Supreme Court after 4
Right.
years, because we fined them and issued notices of violation that never got corrected.
And there's no way we can get that cut down or anything, or
Mr. Tut, when you get a chance, if you could take a look at it and let me know what we can do. Thank you.
thank you.
Any additional comments? Yes, sir.
Also about Lenary. I want to thank the police department for putting that device up there for the speed limit. To slow people down coming in and North Drive,
Did
but
I catch you?
they didn't catch me. The thing is, they put it in the other direction where you come around the hill and you go down and rarely you can ever speed going that way. I think they should turn it around the other direction. Get
We'll
the
have
people
pic-
coming up into North Drive. That's where you see the speeders happen.
All right.
I live on the upper part of North Drive. And I clocked somebody about 45, 50 going down that road the other day. And I don't know what we can do about that, because you can't put a device on every street up there. I totally understand that. Maybe we talk to maybe speed bumps. I don't understand. I got 2 little grandchildren and they don't play on the road, but occasionally they like to ride their bikes up there and I'm scared. UPS is just unbelievable how fast they go down that road, and I would like maybe somebody just to look into that, maybe figure out something we can do, but as far as the other thing goes, I think these are switching around. I'm not the only one that feels that way. A couple of people have mentioned it to me. Because when you come around the hill, it's hard to gain a little speed coming around the turn there. But coming up, that's where you get the speeders. coming in.
Mr. Safarth, can we take a look at that, please? Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Brian. Are there any additional comments from anyone in the audience here tonight on any topic that you wish to make the town board aware of? Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to take this time to congratulate Mr. Regis Obajeski on his appointment to the Board of Directors of the Ulster County Resource Recovery Agency. Most of you know by the headlines in the Freeman that it's a notorious agency. Given the way that Mr. Obajeski has tamed this town board, I'm sure he'll do an equally good job with the board at the RRA. Congratulations. Wait, I have a motion to adjourn. All those in favor? Aye. Thank you very much, and we'll see you on September 7th.
I wish you said that.